So this is Town Builder Coevorden. In the game, it's kind of an open draft type game. So in the middle of the board, there are going to be 5 cards, and on your turn, you get to choose 2 of them, and you can do one of 3 things with them. So the first thing on the little reference, this is basically all the rules you need. It's very simple. So the first thing you can do is you can start a foundation. So this here, I could build this building, but to do that, I have to take it and start as a foundation. So you turn it sideways. On the side here, it tells you what resources you need to build it. The second thing you can do is you can take a card and you can use it for a resource instead of the building. So you turn it upside down and you just tuck it in behind the foundation that you're trying to build. So now I've got 1 wood towards that. I'm going to need 2 more woods to finish it. This would refill. The next person would take their 2 cards. Then when it comes back around you, you could take another card. So this here, now I've got 2 wood. Eventually you'll get all the resources you need. When you do that, you discard all the resources. That will turn straight up to be built. It's now a housing building based on the name there and the color. It's worth 4 points. This one, for example, doesn't have an ability, but other cards will have different types of abilities on them. There's 3 types of abilities. The hammers you can use on the turn that they're built, and that's it. The stars you can use every round, but you can only use 1 star. So if you have multiple stars, you got to decide which one you're going to use. And then the last one, there's the crown abilities. Those ones are done at the end of the game, and they'll give you either extra points or they'll do different things. Like some of them change their color at the end of the game, stuff like that. And so yeah, it's all about deciding what you're using to build buildings, what you're using as a resource. It'll take you down different chains. Every single card in the deck is different. There's no 2 cards alike, so there's all sorts of different abilities. Some of them don't have abilities. Yeah, like that one's got no ability. But yeah, so no card is the same. There's multiple different paths you can go. There's some mid-game and end-game things that you can gain. If you meet their criteria, then you get some extra points. The one thing I didn't mention is the gold. Gold, you don't tuck in behind stuff. Gold, you tuck in behind the reference sheet here. Nobody put one out, but if there was a building that required gold, if you wanted to start that as a foundation, you would just have to spend a gold that you've taken previously. So, but other than that, that's basically all the rules. You go through the deck a couple of times, depending on number of players, it'll tell you in the rule book how many times. And then whoever's got the most points and buildings, end-game scoring things, judges and awards. Whoever's got the most points is the best district designer builder in the town of Coevorden.
And how many players?
Plays 1 to 4. There is a solo mode in there. All right, so this one, this is Mistwind, as you can see. This game, it's a game of building trade networks and moving cargo around with your little transport whales. They're going to move to different areas and pick up cargo, and then they want to move to other areas to drop that cargo off, so you can get these tokens which are worth points, stuff like that. But the best thing I like is it combines those 2 things together, the network building and the pick up and deliver, because when you start the game, you just have 1 transport whale and nothing else on the board, and as the game plays, you're going to start putting out these outposts onto the board. Now they're how you're going to connect point A to point B to get some points, but they can also let your whales move around more efficiently, because normally when you move your whale around, if you look over on the side here, this keeps track of all your building resources, your money, and your krill, and when you move your whale, you have to spend the krill. So every step of the way that you move with a whale, you have to spend krill. And you can move as much as you want. You just got to spend the resource. But if you are on one of your outposts, when you leave that outpost, you don't have to spend the krill. And so if you start having a bunch of outposts together, you can go free, and just start moving around the board a bunch more. So as the game progresses and you get more outposts out, you start able to move back and forth way more efficiently. And I like how it combines those two things together. The game, it uses almost a worker placement type thing. So you play on your turn, you play one of these discs in one of the spots around the outside of the board. So even these cards here, they're all numbered 1 to 5. All the spots on the outside are all numbered 1 to 5, and etc. So if I wanted to, say, use this spot over here, I would have to put my 3 there, and then I get to do that. That lets me move my whale an extra amount on the turn. Or if I wanted to go over here, I have to use my 5, and that lets me build in this spot. So you can collect resources or buy abilities or build, stuff like that. Normally it blocks spots, kind of a worker placement type thing. And yeah, if I use my 3 or my 5 over here, I can't use them anywhere else. So you have to like figure out which one you're going to use. And if somebody plays, they block it so nobody else can play. So it's worker placement-esque during your turn. After you play your disc and do whatever you're doing, that's when you can move your whale. And then you move your whale around. If you have multiple whales, you can move multiple of them, pick stuff up, or go drop them off to get points. Yeah, so that's kind of like the long and short of it. After 4 rounds, you count up all the points you made from making networks and any cards that you may have collected that are worth points. This one gets you points for money at the end of the game. Stuff like that. There's these tokens when you're dropping off cargo and you're picking up these tokens, they're worth points. The ones in the corner are worth more points because they're a little further away, harder to get to. And yeah, whoever's got the most points in all the various ways is the winner.
Now, is there a way to basically destroy other players' buildings? Or
no,
so it's not mean.
And it's not mean, and it's very friendly. Unlike Ticket to Ride, multiple people can hang out and build in the same spots. There's no blocking on the board. The blocking only comes in. Let me just grab a couple tokens here. So this one over here, for example, says build a network connecting this spot over to whatever is depicted on there, and that happens to be this guy up here. So they want you to build a network connecting all the way up.
And if you're the first, you get 6, the second
yeah.
person 4.
So say the purple player did it, they would put their marker down, and so maybe the yellow player came along and they connected it as well. Maybe they got the whale and that, and
so mainly scoring comes from...
They've connected it. Yeah, so they would get it as well. So there isn't even any block in there. It's just whoever gets there first is
the only real blocking comes with, like, if I play a 5, you can't play a 5.
Yeah, exactly. The blocking comes in around the edge of the board.
So the main point scoring is for getting resources, fulfilling these like objectives.
Yeah, doing these networks as points, picking up these tokens as points. Those are the main 2 ways. Everybody will have a couple cards like this as well that tell you to connect one of these. Yeah, exactly.
Like those gold cards.
Yeah. They're basically like Ticket to Ride ticket type things, and they want you to connect to these other things. No one can block you on those, unlike Ticket to Ride. These are awards you can get if you meet the criteria. There's a bunch of different ones of these. You just shuffle different ones into the game.
Can you score them like multiple times?
No.
So as soon as
somebody does it, they take it and it's theirs.
They take it.
Yeah, exactly.
So like it's like a race to get those first.
Yeah.
And then are these like variable setup, or are they always the same?
These are variable. Yeah. It's always the green ones are going in here, and
these are like larger.
Yeah, these are larger ones. They're worth more points.
So these could be like other ones that are worth. Are these always worth 2, or is it?
They're always worth 2. These ones are always worth 1.
But the resources could be different.
Yeah.
And you have multiples of those.
Yeah.
So that one have a different setup every time.
And there's kind of like a mini economy as well in the game. So if somebody came over, they had picked up a mushroom, for example, and they came over here and they dropped it off, and they took this. If you take the one that's most in demand, because you could take anyone, you could take the one off the top, you're just not going to get a bonus with it. But if you take this one, you can either take 2 money or a wood and add that to your track. And then these would slide down, and now new ones are becoming more in demand. And then you take a new one out of the side box and add it to the top.
So why would you take one that was like...
Because again, they're worth points. They're points, but you're just not going to get the bonus. And you just have to match the token. So maybe you don't have access to that token, or maybe it's too far away. You're obviously going to keep trying to do these ones, but sometimes you just want the points. There's an end game bonus, so whoever has the most purple is going to get extra points. Okay. So maybe you just want to come in and drop a couple off just to beat them out and get those extra points at the end.
Why is it harder to take this one?
It's not harder. like if this was your option, you would obviously take that one.
Okay.
You'd never take that one.
Yeah. But sometimes you might want this resource instead of the other.
Yeah, because this is right here and it's easier to get to, whereas that one is further away.
So you have to
go
transport
somewhere.
it.
Yeah, and you got to pick it up, and then you got to come back with it later on to drop it off to get the tokens. Yeah.
Thanks for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, click that like and subscribe button. You can also follow us on social media like Facebook
and Twitter at DadBeDaughter.
And if you like what we do and you want to support us, you can visit our Patreon page. So thanks for watching.
Thanks.